Hello, welcome to Chef Andy Anand's kitchen. And in this kitchen, what I try to do is I try to show you all how to increase happiness. Why happiness? Because my name is Anand and it means happiness. So I'm going to try to show you how to increase happiness. And how do you increase happiness? The best way is to feed somebody. So I'm going to show you the classic Indian dish Paneer Palak today. So let's start with the ingredients. So I'm going to show you the ingredients. So what you see here is I'm going to use frozen spinach. Okay, but if you want to use fresh spinach, you can use fresh spinach. I'm going to use 4 bunches of this frozen spinach. I have already taken out 3 packets, frozen and thawed. Okay, now if you can't thaw it earlier, that is perfectly fine. You just take it out of the freezer and put in the microwave for say 5 minutes and it gets thawed. That is perfectly fine. Or you can even start cooking frozen. That doesn't matter. And then we have garlic paste, 2 tablespoons, ghee, which is clarified butter, salt, 1.5 teaspoons, and then I've got 3 large jalapenos. Now, if you don't have jalapenos, you can use some other kind of green chilies, but green chilies is important. And then I've got paneer, which is the Indian cottage cheese. The first step, what I will do is I'll stuff off this paneer into a bowl, and I'm going to cover it with hot water, hot salted water. So there's hot water here. I'm going to put that, and I have to soak this paneer in hot water for a while so that it gets soft. Okay, and we put a little bit of salt into this. Put it down because it got too heavy for me. Bring a little bit of salt into this. Okay, and I will let this sit on the side. So we'll let it sit on the side. Now, what we are going to do is now I'm going to move. We are going to start with our cooking. So for this, simply what I'm going to start with is the first step is simply cut off these chilies. So these jalapenos, I'm going to start just roughly, doesn't matter because it's all going to be pureed in the end. So it doesn't matter, it doesn't take much time anyway. So just cut these jalapenos into a couple of thick slices, thin slices, doesn't matter. As I said, everything will get pureed. Now, if you don't like food that hot, what you could do is you could put 2 jalapenos instead of 3. Okay, either way. So we have these jalapenos ready now. We put them in a plate. And now let me get my pan in focus so you can see I'm going to use an Instapot today where I'll cook. But you can use a pan on the top of stove also. I just like to use Instapot. So my Instapot is now ready. I'm going to put the ghee into this. And there you can hear the sizzle. So the ghee goes in. And you wait for a minute for the ghee to sort of heat up. So since the pan was already hot, the ghee is hot. Now I'm going to put in the garlic. And then let the garlic cook for a few minutes till it turns almost brown. So I'll wait for a few minutes. So our garlic, as you can see, is now almost brown. So now we are going to put in the green chilies. And let the green chilies cook for a few minutes. So the green chilies have cooked a little bit. Now at this point we'll simply chuck in the spinach. So 4 packets of frozen spinach go in. And give it a quick mix. And I'm going to cover it up and let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. What we want to do here is we want to make sure that all the liquid which is there in spinach dries up and the spinach becomes dry. You can call it searing of the spinach. Though searing is a term which is generally applied to meat. In Indian cookery, there's a term called as bhunao or bhunana, as it is called in Hindi. bhunana or bhunao. So what happens in that process is whenever you cook a vegetable or a meat, you keep on turning it until it starts sticking to the bottom of the pan. Okay, so we are going to do the same here. We are going to allow the spinach to first cook until all the liquid gets dried up, and this step is very important. And after that, we will add the paneer and puree it in the next step. So I'll meet you about in 15-20 minutes. Stay on. So we are now midway through the cooking. If you see, the spinach is now boiling, but if you do go down in the pan, you see there is a lot of liquid. Now all this liquid has to dry. At this point, I will just keep it open so that the liquid dries up. Now earlier, why did I put the lid was to retain the heat. At this point, I'm going to just keep it open, and we'll meet in a few minutes. So our spinach has been cooking about for 20 minutes. At this point, if you might see that it will start sticking to the bottom. So we'll check. You see some of it is getting stuck, particularly on the sides here. I'm going to show you. See, it's stuck. So at this point, you might see that the bhunao process is working. At this point, you can give it, what you have to do is actually, whatever is stuck, you have to unstuck it, like remove it out and keep on doing this for a few more minutes with the entire spinach until you get this entire spinach sort of seared all over. Okay, so we are going to wait for a few more minutes. So now our spinach has been seared quite a bit. So I'm going to remove whatever is stuck from bottom. Now at this point you have two choices. Some people like pureed spinach. Some people like spinach with this texture. So if you don't want pureed spinach, you can just add paneer at this point. But I like pureed one. So what I'm going to do is, in order to be able to puree it, I have to add some water so that my blender would work. So I'm going to put a little bit of liquid. Okay, and at this point, actually, I'm going to turn off the Instapot because otherwise it tends to splatter a lot while I'm pureeing it. Once it's fully pureed, then I'll turn it on again. So I'm going to put a little bit of water and I'm going to puree it. So I have a handheld blender here. I'm going to use that to puree it. So spinach is now pureed. I'm going to give it one more stir, one final stir. Now, as you saw that I added quite a bit of water to make it thin. It just depends upon how thick you want this paneer palak to be. It depends upon your choice. So I'm just going to make it, I'm going to show you how thick it is. This is how much I like it to be. So you could do whatever you feel you want it to be. And at this point, I'm going to put in the salt. So there was the salt. Give it a quick stir. And then I'm going to put the paneer. Now the paneer I had transferred to a bigger bowl because it was not soaked well. So I had transferred to a bigger bowl and I'm going to put all the paneer in after draining the liquid, obviously. So there is a paneer which goes in and giving it a good stir. And at this point, again, you can see if you feel that, you want it thinner, thicker. If you want more paneer, you can always add more paneer. You can adjust it whatever way you want to. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll allow this to cook for a few more minutes and then we'll do a plate presentation. Okay, our paneer palak has now been cooking for a few minutes. So I'm going to turn it off because I know it's ready. Just give it a quick stir. And at this point, you would see that, oops, it's bubbling too much. And it might actually splatter on my whites, but doesn't matter. So there it is ready. I'm going to turn it off. Let it cool down a bit. And while it is cooling down, I'll show you the presentation. So we have a little plate which I have already created. And here what we have is, if you can see, let me try to angle my camera so you can see it a little more clearly. I have a little bit of a carrot and naan. And I think the paneer palak is splattered a bit on the plate, but that's okay. We are going to clean it up. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this paneer palak and put it on the plate. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to clean up the side of the plate so it looks pretty. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little bit of cream as a garnish. Fresh cream. We have a little bit of fresh cream which goes on the top. And that is our paneer palak, which is ready. Okay. So that's our paneer palak. Let's give it a good great taste. So I'm going to as it is eaten in the Indian fashion with your own fingers, I'm going to break a piece of naan, take a piece of paneer, and give it a taste. It's so hot, I can barely hold it. I don't want to put it in my tongue right now. So I'm going to cool it down a little bit. It's so nice. I can't tell you how creamy I feel that palak going in my spinach going in my mouth. It's very, very creamy. So now, if you like my recipes, please don't forget to share, subscribe my recipes to a friend, subscribe to my channel, and keep on coming back. Also, there's a link to WhatsApp, my WhatsApp chat. You can connect to my WhatsApp chat, and then you can ask me some personal questions about your cooking. There's also a link to my website. Please visit my website, and you would find some additional recordings and some additional material on the website. So hope to see you in another video. Have fun. Thank you very much for watching my videos.